What is up guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we are going to be reviewing the Deepstone Crypt raid, which was released a few weeks ago. I've been raiding in this raid a lot, and I have come to the decision to bring a video on my review on this raid. So sit back, relax and enjoy this awesome review of the Deepstone Crypt, and make sure you comment below what you liked about this raid and if it was your favorite raid and etc. But with me saying about favorite raid, this by far is the best raid I have ever done, and the reason behind this is everything I'm going to talk about in this video. So let's get into it. Firstly, I am going to talk about the amazing story they brought, starting with Beyond Light, where Atrax is told by Aramis towards the end of the campaign of Beyond Light to go back to the Deepstone Crypt and prepare the body. We later see now in the raid that the Deepstone Crypt, the body which she tells you to go back, tells Atrax to go back for, is Tanix, and this then makes Tanix becomes the final raid boss. However, the story doesn't stop there, as we enter the Deepstone Crypt, we firstly go through the first encounter, Cryptic Security. Now, Cryptic Security is about getting past the security of the Deepstone Crypt so we can enter within the main facility and etc. And one thing I really liked about this encounter was that it was a really easy encounter, just because of how the mechanics were introduced to you straight away, how you had the scanner looking for the D-pads which the operator then had to shoot, and it was just a very cool encounter. You had your other players who weren't doing anything killing ads, taking down the servitor. You then was having to shoot the fuses. You was then having to also swap bus around and shoot the fuses, which the scanner downstairs tells you to shoot, light side or dark side. And once the encounter is done, it just feels, yo, this encounter was pretty easy. Hope the next encounter is hard, and it is. Atrax, the Fallen Exo, is probably by far my favourite encounter in a whole of Destiny history, just because of the way everything is set out, with downstairs and going into space. So what I liked about this encounter is going up in space, and also how the mechanics were pushed around. You had 3 people at bottom and 3 people at top. In some raids now you can have 2 people at bottom or 1 person at bottom, but you have to have 1 person at bottom who's doing scanner, and 1 person up top doing a scanner as well, and another operator upstairs. You grow these purple orbs, the operator shoots them off, and you have scanner which tells you which yellow boss you had to hit. And I really liked this encounter because it had everyone doing something. Like, you were either picking up the balls from the bosses. If you do it the way where you float down, you have people floating down and up the launch pods to do extra damage. You have the scanners telling you which yellow which Atrax is yellow on your side, and then you have the operator which is shooting those buffs off and making sure people don't die with the buffs, and make sure that Atrax doesn't come back with the ball because he will wipe you and etc. So everyone had a part to play in this encounter, and I really liked it. It wasn't just one person sit back, well, everyone does everything else. Callus. So we can compare that encounter to Callus, where Callus, you mainly only had to have at least 2 people doing something, and then everyone else just killing heads and not doing anything else, and except damage. But you had everyone doing something, and I really liked this encounter. And one big thing which sold me off with this encounter, like I said at the beginning of this encounter, was going up in space in the launch pods. That was just so crazy because Bungie's never done something like that, and for them to add this thing where we go from the Crypt to now into space is awesome, and I really enjoyed that. Anyway, after that encounter, you get onto the jumping puzzle, and the jumping puzzle was really cool because you feel like you're floating in space. Your gun sounds and your supers make zero pitch noises, and it's just a really cool encounter. So I really like the jumping puzzle. I like some of the things you had to do to get to the third encounter, and yes, now the third encounter, one and only Tanix the Abomination Phase 1, where you don't get to damage him, but you get to see some chaos happen in a room with 6 guardians. This encounter was very fun, but very short, and quite easy. I would say it's easier than the first encounter, as in the first encounter you could slip up within the operator dying at bottom, or you're not hitting the right fuse, or you're not killing the servitors quickly, or you're not sending the buffs over. And as in this encounter, you can't really slip up because you just shoot one of the D-pads as the operator, you carry 2 balls over to the 2 crates, you deposit those balls, you switch buff, and that's it. And you just do that 6 times. And it kind of feels like only 4 people or even 3 people are doing something in this encounter, while the other 3 to 2 people are sitting back and killing ads. And that's where as they're going, Callus is back. Callus is back in this encounter. It's a Callus encounter. Instead of damaging the boss, you just are killing ads in that easy mode. And that, so yeah, this encounter was a bit poorly designed, but still a fun encounter and chaotic. And I really like the animations when you're falling down in the spaceship, where like the windows go from like neutral to then like dark grey to then fire, and the room like changes colours as you're going down, and etc. However guys, moving on to the next encounter and the final encounter, Tanix the Abomination Phase 2. And here the ship crashes and you're left with a Axis 2.0 version, but Tanix. And in this encounter, it is pretty cool, and I really like this encounter a lot. This is, I think, one of the biggest things which sold me this encounter, because previously when we saw Tanix, before we did the second encounter, I thought, oh, he's only going to be walking around and we're going to shoot him and that. But no, he's half Shank and he's half Tanix. And I really like this encounter. I liked how you had to grab the balls and dupe them. And another thing I like about this raid is you go into the beginning of the raid at the Deep Stone, but you come back to the beginning for the final boss. And I really like this transition because it kind of goes, we've been basically in a whole circle, like a whole ring. We started going into the crypt, we gone into space, we went into space, we travelled through the space station, we then crashed back at the beginning of the raid, where then we killed Tanix, and that's the end. And I really just like that transition of that loop, and yeah, that's one thing I really liked about this encounter, what I noticed from doing it. But yeah, some of the things which I liked in this encounter was where you had the ball duping, not ball duping, where you had 4 balls and then 2 balls, and you could do the 2 ball strat, but most people do the 4 ball strat, and the 4 ball strat is basically a challenge. And this is what I really like about this raid, is that you was allowed to do challenge, which makes it really easy, and that easier to do without it being challenge week. And this kind of gave me King's Fall vibes with Oryx, where in King's Fall you could basically do Oryx and at like 1 blight each, but you could do 4 blights each, meaning 16 blights, which would be the challenge way to do Oryx. And you could do this because it would be the easiest approach, and also you get more damage phase on this encounter. And I really like this encounter also, where it's challenge and etc. Obviously we can't get the challenge triumph yet, but when it comes out, I'm sure my team and other teams are going to smash through it first go. And yeah, it's a much easier challenge than previous challenges before with the garden challenge, where you have to bank 30 motes on each side within 10 seconds of each other, and that required you to have 3 people go right and have someone like a Titan Smasher to and then go through the left one after being teleported out, then go back into the portal to get 10. And I really like how they structured this final encounter to still make it hard within the balls and all that kind of stuff. And it's still hard when you do 4 balls, because someone can fuck up and like die quickly with their ball. Someone can fuck up on suppressor, someone can fuck up on operator, or someone can get deactivated, and someone could die on damage phase, because damage phase with debris is very violent. Like, this is Trevor 2.0 with debris, like literally Trevor 2.0, and that's in a raid though. And yeah, I really like this encounter, and this encounter was really cool. But now guys, coming to the end of the review, the story element of this whole raid was awesome. How we went into the Crypt, we saw Tanix and that, we saw the darkness thing, which I forgot to mention. We saw the big darkness statue, and we're like, they're going, yo, what has Clovis been doing, this statue and that? And then we find out that he's been experimenting with the Vex and with the darkness, and kind of combining them to bring exos and more powerful exos with stasis and etc. And then we go against Atrax, the Fallen Exo, this robotic version, and we learn about going into space, crashing down, and going against Tanix, looking like Exit 2.0, and getting hit by Bree. Trevor. And yeah, this was a really good raid. It was very fun. It's very short and easy, but I feel like that was good, because Garden felt, to me, it felt easy, but also felt hard for new players, as this raid is really good for new players, because you can quickly learn the buffs and that. Like, I really like the 3 different buffs: suppressor, operator, scanner. I really like those. And this raid overall was just fantastic, and that's why it's like one of my favorite raids now. Like, it's up there with Wrath the Machine being one of the best. Like, Wrath the Machine was really good for the Zessaboni part, I think I said that right, but Wrath the Machine was top tier with the encounters and that in there. And I just like this one as well. It seems like all the Fallen raids are really good compared to other like enemy. Like Scourge of the Past was another big favourite. I believe that's like my 4th favourite raid, but I'll have to redo that list and bring out a video of my tier list of my favourite raids in Destiny 2 and Destiny 1. However guys, that has been my review. Last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to rate this raid out of 10, and that is one and only a 10 out of 10, and etc. I wasn't disappointed in any encounter. Third encounter was a bit, you know, boring, like not boring but still fun, but didn't have much to do. But it kind of didn't make it to a 9 out of 10. It just made it to a solid 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review guys. Comment below your opinions on the raid, comment below your rating out of 10, and if this is one of your favorite raids. And also I'll be bringing out more videos, more podcasts. I'll hopefully bring out a podcast later this week or next week of talking about this raid with a load of other people. But however, subscribe to the channel if you're new, like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. and God bless and stay safe.